All right, so it has officially been 24 hours that office, and he has done executive orders that has left the United States speechless, the world. I'm going to be covering for you all of the things that have unfolded. Let's go ahead and cover it now. There's more that is going on while I am live, but I'm going to get you caught up on the latest. So let's go ahead and take a look at these headlines. We're going to be going through all of the executive orders and the things that have unfolded as Donald Trump made good on his promises. He has been busy. Now, take a look at this. First off, Trump, he declares border emergency and seeks to end the U.S. birthright citizenship. So state of emergency at our southern borders, ending U.S. birthright citizenships. And it says, can Trump end birthright citizenships? Executive order already faces legal challenges, and a lot of these executive orders that he issued yesterday, we're hearing they are already receiving pushback. In addition to that, President Trump pledges to expand the border wall, praises Texas Governor Greg Abbott. We also heard that he is going to be creating an Iron Dome for the United States. He mentioned this on the 19th, literally the day before Inauguration Day. Also, take a look at this. Trump vows to reinstate unvaccinated military. The president announces the Biden administration reversal during his inauguration speech. He is undoing a lot of the things that we saw Biden do in the beginning of his in his administration. Now in the beginning of Trump's, he is undoing what Biden did. Trump signed an executive order proclaiming that there are only two biological sexes, halting diversity programs. White House officials group both orders under the Trump administration's wider Restoring Sanity agenda. And let me know, I saw a lot of people respond to this when I posted it. I was posting yesterday on my Instagram, my TikTok, my various socials, trying to just keep up with all of them coming out. And he said there are only two genders, male and female. If you agree, drop a 47 in the comments and hit that like button. Take a look. Trump's first day, tariff threats, and a flurry of executive orders. We're also hearing shock the world with some of the things that he did with those executive orders. We're going to be covering all the details. Trump also declares a national emergency, energy emergency, to open up resource extraction. The order could open up drilling in areas that the Biden administration sought to preserve, including in Alaska and off of the East Coast. Also, Trump has now pardoned 1,500 January 6th defendants, and I shared that with you yesterday on my various socials, as well as he said that they are free and they are coming out now. Also, Trump has withdrawn the United States from the World Health Organization. So WHO, which was, leading the charge during the pandemic, the U.S. has withdrawn. Public health experts say the U.S. withdrawal from the World Health Organization would undermine the nation's standing as a global health leader and make it harder to fight the next pandemic. But Trump said that we're not having any of it. He said he is tired of the United States being scammed, being pulled into all these groups and holding all the weight. He said we have withdrawn from the World Health Organization. Also, Trump has signed an executive order directing the U.S. to withdraw from the Paris Climate Agreement again. So he is saying we are getting off of the world stage as being somebody that is a parallel or a partner with these other nations when we are clearly the leader. We don't need to be a part of this. It is a ripoff. And he said this, he literally called the Paris Climate Agreement the Paris Climate Agreement ripoff and said, no more. Man, let me know your thoughts. If you like this, go ahead and drop a like. Put a 47 in the comments. But again, this is the first 24 hours of Trump being in office. We're hearing tons and tons, hundreds and hundreds of these executive orders being done, shaking up the world. OECD global tax deal has no force in the United States as well. No force or effect in the United States, absence of an act of Congress adopting the relevant provision, he had said on Monday as well. Also, Trump lifts the U.S. sanctions on Israeli settlers in the occupied West Bank, showing his solidarity with the nation of Israel. Trump coming in and saying that we will support Israel, and also we had heard him say that there would be all hell to pay if they did not get that agreement to release the hostages done before he got into office. And we saw that it began to fall apart within the last 48 hours of him getting into office. And Hamas pulled it together, and they got that list of names, so that way that would not be the case. They did not want to see what all hell unfolding would look like as Donald Trump came into office. And again, if any of these you like, don't forget, hit that like button, and also drop a 47 for Donald Trump. But we still got more to cover. Take a look at this. Also, the Department of Government Efficiency has officially been enacted by Donald Trump. And the first lawsuit against Trump's administration targeted at the bills came within moments after it was initiated. Within minutes of Trump taking oath of office, at least 3 lawsuits were filed in federal court in Washington seeking to shut down Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency. And if you missed it yesterday, man, Elon Musk, he was having a blast as he was saying that this was a step forward for humanity, for America. He said that this was absolutely vital. He literally came out and said, there's some elections that are important and some that are not. This one was the most important of all time, and he said that we had victory. Also, Vivek Ramaswamy now leaves the Doge, and he's going to launch a run for Ohio governor. Man, there is so much news coming out in the last 24 hours. I'm going to get you caught up on all of this. And if you're from Ohio, let me know. Do you think that this is good? You'd like to see Vivek Ramaswamy be your governor? And also, what about those drones? The New Jersey drone mystery to be uncovered. Donald Trump has Susie looking into it, and he said yesterday while signing all those executive orders, we're going to look into it. We're going to let the American people know all the information that we have regarding the drones. We are going to let the cat out of the bag, expose the secret, let everybody know exactly what is going on. So, like I said, a lot of executive orders that have taken place in the first 24 hours of President-elect Donald Trump becoming President Donald Trump now. He is officially the President of the United States, and he is coming in hot. Lots of things coming in, shaking up the world, shaking up the borders. Literally within moments of him becoming president, we saw the borders. We saw video footage of San Antonio, them announcing, you will not cross. It is illegal. We saw the app was shut off. We've also heard it's a state of emergency. And also we're hearing that he is going to continue the walls, create an iron dome, and man, shaking things up around the world. So it has been a wild last 24 hours. It has officially been 24 hours now. It is today 12:18 p.m. Central Standard Time here in Houston, Texas, January 21st, 2025. And I'm going to dive into all these articles, get you caught up on the latest. These are some of the most notable executive orders that have come out. There has been over, I think, 200, if I remember correctly, that he signed, and he is still going. And I'm actually hearing that right now, as I speak, January the 21st, he is also compiling a list of officials that he said are not necessary, that were assigned during the Biden administration, and he's going around saying, you're fired. You're fired. They are firing people left and right that he says are not necessary or do not support or align with what it is that President Trump is planning to do over the course of the next 4 years. And again, if you love it, go ahead and drop a like in the comments. And I'm going to get you caught up on all of this. Drop some 47s, drop a 47 in the comment. Hit that like button. Now, also, all of these articles, if there's any of these that you want to dive into more detail on, they're all going to be linked in the description below. As you guys know, here on the channel, I cite all the sources, put it on the screen, read right from it, try to hold myself to the highest level of accountability so that way you can see it and know that it is the latest. And if you appreciate that, like I said, hit that like button. If this is your first time here and you want to stay up to date, I'm going to be keeping you guys up to speed on everything that's going on. And trust me, there is a lot, and I think there's going to be a whole lot more now. So hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell, turn that bell to all. Also, make sure you're staying subscribed. A lot of people getting unsubscribed from the channel for some reason. We're not sure what's going on. Might be some sort of YouTube update or settings. Make sure that you are staying subscribed to the channel. Also, I'm on Rumble as Steve Ram. I'm also on Spotify as Steve Ram as well. Yesterday, for some reason, I was not able to stream the inauguration, so we went ahead and jumped over to Rumble. Also, Instagram, TikTok, True Social, Steve Ram 3, and I'm also on Facebook. And I'm also on X as Steve Ram News. And yes, a lot of people are asking, Steve, is there going to be a platform where we can have all the information in one place? I'm going to be on all the social media platforms, but very soon I am going to be launching my own thing. I will announce it here very soon, so stay tuned to that. And to stay updated on that with any announcements that could be coming, some big announcements, that's going to be at www.steveramnews.com. That is the newsletter. So, wanted to let me get all the socials out of the way, you guys, but let me go ahead and get you caught up on the latest, because there is a lot taking place with Donald Trump in office. No, somebody's asking if I am not on that platform, Illy. No, I'm not going to be on that one. Just reporting the news for you guys. So let's go ahead, though, and get you guys caught up on the latest. So first up, New Jersey drone mystery to be uncovered. Donald Trump has Susie looking into it. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. And yes, I see Donna and Ren saying hit that like button. Appreciate it. All right. So this says New Jersey drones. We're going to take a look at that one later because that just came out. I don't have news on that other than he is going to be looking into the New Jersey drone case. But let's take a look at what he has done so far. And like I said, there was just stacks and stacks of these, you can see right here, these executive orders all over his desk, signing and signing, discussing what is being done. So first up, let's take a look at this here. Trump declares border emergency and seeks to end the U.S. birthright citizenship. So a state of emergency has been declared. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at this. It says, from behind his desk in the Oval Office, President Donald Trump signed a flurry of executive orders and decrees aimed at cracking down on immigration. From one order tackling the definition of birthright citizenship to another declaring illegal immigration at the border a national emergency, Trump swiftly made moves on his promises to tighten the U.S.-Mexico border. But some of his plans, particularly around changing the definition of birthright citizenship, are likely to face significant hurdles. He is already facing legal challenges from immigration advocacy groups, which have reacted furiously to his announcement. One organization said that his plans do not uphold American values, and another said Trump's administration was actively trying to destroy our lives. In his inaugural address earlier in the day, Trump vowed that all illegal entry will be halted and that millions of criminal aliens will be deported. And again, if you support this, we've heard that there have been a lot of issues with this. Go ahead and hit that like button, drop a 47 for your support for Donald Trump. He is saying we are going to see the greatest mass deportation we have ever seen. He also signed an order declaring Mexican cartels, groups that are organizations that are not good in the U.S., certain words I can't say on YouTube. I have no higher responsibility than to defend our country from threats and invasions, he explained. At another event at Washington's Capital One Arena, Trump formally revoked nearly 80 executive actions of his predecessor, Joe Biden. So one of the first things he did in Capital One Arena in front of millions was he took 80 executive actions that Joe Biden did and he undid them. He had previously vowed to scrap Biden's policies within 5 minutes. Following his inauguration, he also signed a proclamation that gave officials the authority to repel, repatriate, or remove migrants until he was satisfied that the invasion at the southern border has ceased. Now, although the details of the order are not yet known, officials have said that Trump plans to end birthright citizenship. That refers to an approach of the U.S. government whereby anyone born on American soil is considered a citizen at birth, regardless of their parents' immigration status. Now, Trump appears to be seeking to change the rules so that the children of the undocumented migrants living in the U.S. will no longer automatically be considered U.S. citizens. It would not apply retrospectively. Exactly how he intends to achieve this is unclear, however, because birthright citizenship is enshrined in the Constitution and would require a 2/3 vote in both chambers of Congress to change. So this is already being challenged right now. As he did this executive order, they're saying legally can he do this? It's going to be challenged in court, we're hearing, and they're saying that it needs to be done through Congress with a 2/3 majority vote in the House of Representatives, in the Senate. Now, Trump has instructed federal agencies to stop issuing documentation to children born in the U.S. to parents who are in the country illegally or temporary visas, which could effectively deny them access to public services. Advocacy groups, the American Civil Liberties Union, or ALCU, immediately said that it was suing the Trump administration over the order. Denying citizenship to U.S.-born children is not only unconstitutional, it also is reckless and ruthless repudiation of American values, it said in a statement. Now, the new administration has also moved to swiftly scrap CBP, one, a mobile application used by migrants to book appointments to appear at a port of entry. Now, we had heard that this app, they were using this coming across. We were seeing the catch and release. The app was being used to go ahead and get entry. As Donald Trump became the president of the United States yesterday, the app was shut down. No more app, no more illegal entry, no more entry at these points trying to seek asylum. He said you must go through the regular means. And let me know, is the volume okay? I see some people saying that the volume is too low. Just let me know really quickly, is the volume good? If so, put yes. If no, put no. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Just want to make sure that it is good before I move forward. I'll wait a second and let me see if I see yeses or nos. Yes, it is good. No, it needs to be turned up higher. I actually don't see any comments from anybody. Maybe they can't hear me. Oh, lots of yeses pouring in. Okay. Some people are saying it's a little low. Maybe turn the volume up on your phone a little bit, because it looks like the majority of people are saying yes, it sounds good. Okay. All right. Thank you for that. For those of you that are saying no, it's a little low, just go ahead and turn the volume up on your phones. The majority of people are saying yes, it sounds good. All right, let's go ahead and continue on. Thank you for that. The Biden administration officials, they have credited the app with helping reduce the number of detentions at the border since it was first introduced back in January of 2023. It was the only legal pathway to request asylum at the U.S.-Mexico border. Now, the Customs and Border Protection website noted that the app is no longer available. Now, app users also now are shown a message noting that existing appointments scheduled through CBP One are no longer valid. According to CBS, the BBC's U.S. partner, the Biden administration has scheduled roughly 30,000 appointments via CBP One for migrants to enter the U.S. in the next 3 weeks. Other estimates had suggested that as many as 270,000 migrants were in Mexico waiting for an opportunity to enter the United States using CBP. 270,000 migrants, wow, were waiting to enter the United States and Mexico. Now that app is shut down. In the Mexican border city of Tijuana, some migrants reported feeling defeated and deflated after learning the CBP One's demise. I hope God touches his Trump's heart, says Oralia, a Mexican woman who fled cartel violence in her home state along with her epileptic son. We really do need the help. She had been waiting for an appointment through CBP One for 7 months. Among his other day one moves, Trump ordered a shutdown of another Biden-era initiative which allowed up to 30,000 migrants from Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela to fly to the U.S. per month, 30,000 per month. Like the CBP One app, it was designed to lower the number of illegal crossings. Man, let me know your thoughts. No more of that. He's saying the app is down. You will not be coming through illegally, even at one of these crossing points. Even if you have the app is now shut down. Trump is saying we need to secure our borders. And we're going to see the largest mass deportation we have ever seen. And if you are glad to hear that, again, do me a favor. Hit that like button. Drop a 47 in the comments. Because Donald Trump said that it is time to secure our borders. Trump declares a border emergency. Now, in addition to that, as I mentioned, it's already facing legal challenges. We're going to be seeing how that proceeds, but he is pushing for that. Also, President Trump pledges to expand the border wall. Get that border wall back up, praises Texas Governor Abbott. Now, it says President Donald Trump's inauguration marks a major change in federal immigration policies and a renewed push to expand the border wall on the U.S.-Mexico border. Following the formal inauguration ceremony and address in the Capitol Rotunda, Mr. Trump spoke to an overflow crowd in Emancipation Hall, delivering an enthusiastic endorsement of Texas Governor Greg Abbott's border policies while pledging to continue construction of the southern border wall during his second term. Mr. Trump made several remarks discussing the wall's past and present future. Praising Abbott as a great man, Trump joked about his luck in giving the governor glowing reviews while Abbott was present. I swear, I didn't know he was here, Trump said inside the Capitol's Emancipation Hall, eliciting laughter from the audience. Did I get lucky? Supposing I said, the governor of Texas has done a terrible job? Wow, look at you, he said. Now, Mr. Trump's speech took a technical turn as he relayed anecdotes about the wall's construction and security features, reflecting on the design's challenges that he revealed in initial preferences for a towering concrete structure. I want that sucker to go up 50, 60 feet, nice Y shape, beautiful. I love construction, he said. However, after learning that the smugglers could scale the concrete walls like rabbits, Mr. Trump conceded to a design combined with hardened steel, reinforced concrete, and anti-clang panels. It was pretty, but it worked. It wasn't pretty, but it worked, he declared, claiming the design stopped even expert climbers. Sometimes you sacrifice beauty for efficiency, he said. So there you have it, you guys. He is also saying that we are going to get that wall. And also, now I didn't get an article on it because it's not official, it's not an executive order yet, but he's also mentioning that we are going to be getting an Iron Dome. If you like that, put a 47 in the comments and hit that like button. He said the U.S. needs an Iron Dome as well. Let me know your thoughts in the comments if you like that as well. Now also, Trump, as I mentioned, shaking up the entire world with some of the things that he is doing. Take a look at this. Trump vows that he is going to be reinstating unvaccinated military. So if you are a part of military personnel that was relieved of duty because you refused to get the vaccine, he said he is going to be making that right. And again, if you like that, hit the like button, drop a 47 in the comments. Trump vows to reinstate unvaccinated military. Service members who were dismissed from the military because they refused COVID-19 vaccines will be reinstated with back pay as well. Well, I didn't see that part of it. You're also going to get back pay for the time that you did not get paid for when they let you go. President Donald Trump said Monday during his inauguration speech that he vowed to take the action this week because members were unjustly expelled from our military for objecting to take the COVID vaccine mandate. Wow, there you have it. About 8,000 troops were forced out of the service for refusing the shot during a mandate that lasted from August of 2021 to January of 2023. The military made some exceptions for medical issues or religious objections. The number affected represents less than 1% of the military, but the dismissals were a political headache for the Biden administration and the Pentagon. Some of those troops sued to try and stay in the service, calling the order an illegal mandate. Wow. So there you have it. Donald Trump saying that he is also going to right the wrongs of the Biden administration trying to force this mandate and firing those that refuse to take it. He said, we are going to fix that. Man, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Now also, take a look at this, and if you like it, hit that like button, drop a 47. Trump signs an executive order proclaiming that there are only two biological sexes or genders, halting diversity programs. White House officials grouped both orders under the Trump's administration's wider Restoring Sanity agenda. And let me know, do you agree? Is Trump restoring sanity? He came out and literally said that it is now going to be an official U.S. policy that from here on out, we will only acknowledge that there are two genders, male and female. Trump laying that out very clearly in the speech. That was almost verbatim, word for word, as he spoke. Now take a look at this article. It says President Donald Trump on Monday signed an executive order proclaiming that the U.S. government will recognize only two sexes, male and female, and ending the radical and wasteful diversity, equity, and inclusion programs inside of federal agencies. In a phone call on Monday morning before Trump swearing in, senior White House officials detailed both orders, grouping them under the Trump administration's wider Restoring Sanity agenda. Now, it says the gender order states that it will defend women's rights and protect freedom of conscience by using clear and accurate language and policies that recognize women are biologically female and men are biologically male. It requires that the federal government use the term sex instead of gender, and directs the State Department and the Department of Homeland Security to require that government issues identification documents, including passports, visas, and global entry cards, accurately reflecting the holder's sex. Across the country, ideologues who deny the biological reality of sex having increasingly used legal and other socially coercive means to permit men to self-identify as women and gain access to intimate single-sex spaces and activities designed for women, from women's domestic abuse shelters to women's workplace showers. This is wrong, the order reads. Efforts to eradicate the biological reality of sex fundamentally attack women by depriving them of their dignity, their safety, and their well-being. Donald Trump saying it is time that if you are biologically born a man, you are a man. If you are biologically born a woman, you are now classified as a woman. Even if you identify differently, that is too bad. We will only identify two, it says. Now, the erasure of sex and language and policy has a corrosive impact not just on women, but on the validity of the entire American system. It continues. Basing federal policy on truth is critical to scientific inquiry, public safety, morale, and trust in the government itself. Now, in 2022, the Biden administration allowed U.S. citizens to be able to select a gender-neutral X as a marker on their passports. The gender order also prevents taxpayer funds from being sued for gender transition healthcare and mandates privacy in intimate spaces to ensure that single-sex spaces, such as prisons or various shelters, are designated by sex and not gender identity. Lastly, it directs federal agencies to rescind all guidance documents inconsistent with the gender order, including those titles White House Toolkit on Transgender Equality, Supporting Transgender Youth in School, and Confronting Anti-LGBTQI+ Harassment in Schools, a resource for students and families. Trump campaigned on rolling back protections for transgender and non-binary people and emphasized the issue in televised advertisements, including a commercial that aired frequently in key swing states such as Pennsylvania, where Trump defeated Vice President Kamala Harris. Kamala is for they, them. President Trump is for you. The most notable act said, now the second one is policies, positions and offices within 60 days, singling out environmental justice programs and equity-related grants. So, DEI, there you have it, coming to an end. I'll read it again. The second order will end what is described as the federal government's discriminatory DEI policies. So DEI, if you like to hear that DEI is going away, drop a like and drop a 47 as well. The new administration will hold monthly meetings with the deputy secretaries of key agencies to hear reports on the prevalence and the economic and social costs of DEI, the order states. Now, in a phone call before the DEI order was signed, a senior White House official said that it was very fitting that it was to be signed on Martin Luther King Jr. Day because the order is meant to return the promise and the hope captured by civil rights champions. Honest One, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. America is too lost to be found again. Just pray. Well, let me know your thoughts, Honest One. It sounds like they are trying to restore sanity, it says. This is the name of their agenda, Restoring Sanity. As they are saying now that Donald Trump came out female, and he is also getting rid of DEI. And they did it on Martin Luther King Jr. Day because the order is meant to return the promise and the hope captured by civil rights champions that one day all Americans can be treated on the basis of their character, not on the color of their skin. Now, in recent years, Trump and conservatives have assailed DEI initiatives across American society, characterizing them as discriminatory. Trump referred to the orders in his inaugural address on Monday, saying in part that his administration would resist what he described as efforts to socially engineer race and gender into every aspect of public and private life. He added that his administration will forge a society that is colorblind and merit-based. Wow. Now, the proponents of the DEI in American society have argued that such initiatives are essential to make companies, schools, governments, agencies, and other institutions more radically and socially inclusive. Now, in the weeks leading up to Trump's return to power, major corporations such as Meta, McDonald's, and Walmart, they have announced that they are going to be ending some of their diversity practices as well. Jin-Hee Lee, Director of Strategic Initiative at the NAACP Legal Defense Fund, said there are questions about exactly which DEI programs will be ended. She said that the group is ready to take any action to prevent discrimination, including challenging the order in court as well. So again, Trump coming out with these shaking up the world and the U.S., there is not going to be just letting it get done. There is going to be some pushback. Lee said a push to prohibit anything dealing with the efforts to address inequality would be a real setback in the terms of radical justice advancements. She added that any incoming president can set the policies for the federal administration, but that it would be disconcerting if it becomes permissible for employers or the government to discriminate on the basis of race or sex. Wow. So there you have it, you guys. Let me know your thoughts. Donald Trump coming out and saying that he is done with the Biden administration's varying types of identities. He said that now it'll be a U.S. policy that there are only two biological sexes, and that is male and female. And if you agree with Donald Trump, drop those 47s in the comments. It is now an executive order that has been signed. In addition to that, Trump's first day tariff threats and a flurry of executive orders. We're hearing that there have been tariff threats around the world coming from Trump, letting people know that they better get in order, because if not, there's going to be some serious tariffs coming. Let's go ahead and take a look at this coming out 5 hours ago. It says, "Good morning and welcome to what is now Donald Trump's Washington. Let's kick it off with the first full day of his administration and what we will look at. Trump's first moves, the billionaire at the Capitol, the new Republican faction. Donald Trump ushers in a new era of disruption for global trade and took aggressive steps to boost energy production and curb immigration hours after being sworn in for his second presidency." And again, we are literally seeing this in the first 24 hours. I think it was over 200 executive orders signed, that stack of executive orders on his desk, and also signing in the arena live in front of people, legally 80 executive orders by the Biden administration. Trump is coming in hot. Last night in the Oval Office, I watched Trump sign executive orders that delivered on the populist and national platform that swept him to victory in November. In a reminder of the president's willingness to use high-stakes, coercive tactics on Washington's key trading platforms, Trump also threatened to impose tariffs of up to 25% on Canada and Mexico imports as early as February 1st. The move jolted the global markets. He floated levies of up to 100% on Chinese imports if Beijing doesn't agree to sell TikTok to a U.S. company, and warned of hitting EU products with tariffs unless the bloc buys more American oil and gas. So being very aggressive with these tariffs. In his inaugural speech, Trump suggested tariffs were his preferred tool in international economic diplomacy. He said that they would be vital to raising revenue for the United States, never mind their potential to raise prices for American consumers. In his address, the president pledged to end to American decline and an onset of a new golden age based on the dramatic reversal of the Biden administration's progressive agenda. And this is literally what he has been keying this, the golden age. He said the golden age has now begun. We are now entering into the golden age of the United States. Trump also made clear that an immigration crackdown remains a top priority. He declared a national emergency on the U.S.-Mexico border, directed the Pentagon to draft a plan to deploy troops there, and took steps to curtail birthright citizenship for those born to undocumented immigrants on U.S. soil. That's a big one, he said. We're the only country in the world that does this with birthright, and it just absolutely is ridiculous. This move will almost certainly be challenged in the court for violation of the 14th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution, which states that all persons born of naturalized in the U.S. and are subject to jurisdiction, therefore, are citizens of the United States. However, Trump seemed confident that he would have a very good grounds for these actions. So, man, there you have it. They're referring to also, as we had covered, he wants to get rid of birthright citizenship. In addition to that, take a look at this. He also declared a national emergency for energy to open up resource extraction. The order could open up drilling in areas that the Biden administration sought to preserve, including in Alaska and off of the East Coast. Drill, baby, drill. President-elect Donald Trump on Monday plans to declare a national energy emergency that would give the authority to increase U.S. energy production, including opening up drilling in Alaska. And if you're glad about drill, baby, drill, go ahead and hit a like button and put D for drill in the comments. Incoming White House officials said that given the resounding mandate he received in the November election, Trump would seek to reorient U.S. energy production away from patriarchal interests of the past, an apparent reference to backing renewed resources and for putting the American people first. The officials said the emergency declaration would enable Trump to unlock a variety of different authorities that would allow the United United States to build up natural resources, including drilling in the Arctic Ocean, something outgoing President Joe Biden has sought to block. In addition to lowering energy costs, the executive order was also designed to improve national security, especially the development of advanced artificial intelligence, the computing for which requires enormous amounts of electricity. The emergency declaration comes as the U.S. remains near historic heights of energy production, so much so that the country has been a net exporter of energy in recent years. Now, the U.S. has been pumping a record amount of oil over the past year for breaking the previous record set back in 2019, according to data from the Energy Informative Administration. Gas prices have been steadily declining since April, and last month they were down slightly from where they were a year ago to the average of $3.14 a gallon. Now, according to the Energy Information Administration, now prior to the pandemic, a gallon of gas was around $2.60. Trump has argued on the campaign trail that lowering energy costs would help drive down prices across the economy by reducing the cost of fuel for shipping and electricity used for producing goods. But an increase in oil production in the United States might not translate into lower oil prices overall. Since oil is traded on a global market, other oil-producing countries could cut their own production to curtail the supply and keep prices from falling down too low. More production may also not lead to significantly more jobs in the oil industry, which has been replacing workers with technology like advanced robotics and artificial intelligence, according to a report by EY, which projects that oil and gas workforce should shrink by up to 30% over the course of the next 2 decades. Now, during his final days in office, President Joe Biden put measures in place to reduce offshore drilling along much of the East Coast, Gulf of Mexico, and the Pacific Northwest coastlines, saying that the environmental and economic risks and harms from offshore drilling outweigh the benefits. Those actions and others taken by Biden can now be undone by the incoming Trump administration, though they could face legal challenges by environmental groups similar to the ones seen during Trump's first term. So, man, there you have it. Trump is saying drill, baby, drill, signed an executive order stating there is a national energy emergency, and he is going to allow drilling to make sure that he says that we can get more energy from the U.S., bring those costs of goods down by making sure that the cost of that energy for transport is going to be low. So another one signed by Donald Trump. And in addition to that, take a look at this. Trump pardons about 1,500 January 6th defendants. And if you are glad to see that those that were in the Capitol on January 6th 4 years ago have now been pardoned, drop a 47 in the comments. And if you haven't done so yet, hit that like button. Let's take a look at this one that was done. President Donald Trump on Monday granted clemency to roughly 1,500 defendants who had been convicted of crimes on January 6th of 2021, following through on his longtime promise to absolve those participants in the attack on the U.S. Capitol of wrongdoings. The president's actions come on his first day back in the White House, and just hours after he was sworn in on his second term. Mr. Trump has repeatedly sought to downplay the events of January 6th, when a mob of supporters breached the Capitol in an effort to stop Congress from reaffirming Joe Biden's victory over him in the 2020 presidential elections. Now, Mr. Trump extended clemency to those convicted of these violent and serious crimes, including assaulting police officers and seditious conspiracies. Now, just to clarify as well, I am just reading the text that is coming out from CBS News. There seems to be a slant and a tone to it, but please just chew up the meat, spit out the bones, take it for what it is. But it is reporting that he has pardoned these people. But let's continue reading. He also ordered the Attorney General to dismiss all criminal charges related to the Capitol riot, essentially eradicating the Biden Justice Department's massive effort to hold accountable those who participated in the assault. These are the hostages, approximately 1,500 for a pardon, full pardon, Mr. Trump said during remarks from the Oval Office. This is the big one. The president said that he hopes that those who remain incarcerated will be released immediately. His clemency includes 6 computations. He said, though the proclamation released by the White House lists the name of 14 people and reduces their sentences to time served. Now, these people have been destroyed, he said. What they've done to these people is outrageous. There's rarely been anything like it in the history of our country. Mr. Trump ran blast with the judges overseeing cases stemming from January 6th attack and the prosecutors who brought charges as brutal. More than 1,600 people were charged as a result of their alleged conduct on January 6th, and at least 1,100 have had their cases adjudicated and received sentences, according to the Justice Department. More than 700 defendants completed their sentences or did not receive sentences of incarceration. More than 170 people were accused of using a dangerous weapon, such as a fire extinguisher or a bear spray, against police officers, prosecutors have said. Now, there are roughly 300 prosecutions that remain pending against defendants who have been charged. The Justice Department said earlier this month. Nearly 60% of those were charged with assaulting, resisting, or impeding law enforcement or obstructing those officers during a civil disorder, which are felonies. As of Tuesday morning, the acting U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia began seeking to end ongoing cases, citing Mr. Trump's order-granting pardon and computations for offenses related to the Capitol attack or filings have shown. Now, many January 6th defendants were charged with nonviolent misdemeanors, but some faced more serious offenses, like compromising to use force to resist the transfer of power. But Mr. Trump's actions appear to be sweeping. Among those who received clemency is Enrique Tarrio, the former head of the far-right group Proud Boys, who was serving a 22-year sentence after he was convicted in May of 2023 of charges including seditious conspiracy. His lawyer, Naeem Hassan, told CBS News. Tarrio was released from the federal custody Tuesday after receiving a pardon from Mr. Trump, his attorney has confirmed. So Trump is saying all of them now, they are pardoned. They are saying that they are being released, and I see yet Hi, It's Not Real saying the new golden age of America, number 47. Let me know if you're glad to hear that Donald Trump has pardoned all of those 1,500 essentially yesterday in executive order saying let them be free, let them be released. Now, who had their sentences commuted? Trump commuted the sentences of more than a dozen people, according to the proclamation, including Stuart Rhodes, Kelly Meggs, Kenneth Harrelson, Thomas Caldwell, Jessica Watson, Roberto Minuta, Edward Vallejo, David Morschell, Joseph Hackett, Ethan Nordine, Joseph Biggs, Zachary Rell, Dominic Pezzola, and Jeremy Bertino. Man, lots of executive orders, so they were pardoned yesterday by new President Donald Trump. And like I said, executive orders coming out just in the first 24 hours. Now, in addition to that, let me know if you like this one. If you like this one, if you haven't hit the like button yet, go ahead and do so. If you appreciate the updates and the news of all of the actions of Donald Trump, we got about 4,000 people with me live in the room. If I could get, looks like 30 more likes, we'll have 1,800 likes. Trump withdraws the U.S. from the World Health Organization. U.S. no longer a part of WHO. Public health experts say the U.S. withdrew from the World Health Organization, and it would undermine the nation's standing as a global health leader and make it harder to fight the next pandemic, according to The Times. Now, it says, President Donald Trump moved quickly on Monday to withdraw the United States from the World Health Organization, a move that public health experts say will undermine the nation's standing as a global health leader and make it harder to fight the next pandemic. Now, in an executive order issued about 8 hours after he took the oath of office, Mr. Trump cited a string of reasons for the withdrawal, including the World Health Organization's mishandling of the COVID-19 pandemic and the failure to adopt urgency-needed reforms. He said that the agency demands unfairly onerous payments from the United States and complained that China pays less. The move was not expected. Mr. Trump has been railing against the World Health Organization since 2020 when he attacked the agency over its approach for the coronavirus pandemic and threatened to withhold the United States funding from it. In July of 2020, Mr. Trump took formal steps to withdraw from the agency. Now, but after he lost the 2020 elections, the threat did not materialize. On his first day in office, January 20th, 2021, former President Joseph R. Biden Jr. blocked it from going into effect. Now, leaving the World Health Organization would mean, among other things, that the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC, would have no access to the global data that the agency provides. When China characterized the genetic sequence of the novel coronavirus in 2020, it released the information to WHO, which shared it with other nations. More recently, the WHO has become a target of conservatives over its work on a pandemic treaty to strengthen pandemic preparedness and to set legally binding policies for member countries on surveillance of pathogens, rapid sharing of outbreak data, and building up local manufacturing and supply chains for vaccines and treatments, among others. Talks on the treaty broke down last year. In the United States, some Republican lawmakers viewed the agreement as a threat to American sovereignty. Lawrence Gostin, a public health law expert, has negotiated the treaty, said that the United States would moving a serious wound to the public health, but an even deeper wound to American national interests and national security. Founded back in 1948, the United States World Health Organization is the agency of the United Nations. Its mission, according to its website, is to confront the biggest health challenges of our time and measurably advance the well-being of the world's people. That includes bringing aid to war-torn areas like Gaza and tracking emergency epidemics like Zika, Ebola, and COVID-19. The biennial budget of food is about $6.8 billion. The United States has technically contributed an outsized share of that. Now, that is one of the things we heard vocalized by Donald Trump yesterday. He said, listen, we are sick of the United States being ripped off by other nations. It is time for us to make America great again. And he is backing out of the market deal that he said is a major ripoff of the United States. According to Mr. Costa, it will take some time for the United States to withdraw. The joint resolution adopted by Congress and the agency's family addresses address potential withdrawal and requires the United States to give a year's notice and pay financial obligations to the organization for the current fiscal year. A correction was made on January 1st, 2025 today. An earlier version of this article incorrectly described the WHO's $6.8 billion budget as the organization's biennial budget, not annual. So, there you have it, you guys. Donald Trump withdrawing us, the United States, out of the World Health Organization. Do you agree? Are you happy to see us removed from WHO? If so, drop those 47s in the comments. And if I could get 20 more likes, we'll have 2,000 while we're live, 4,000 people live with me in the room right now. But let's continue on. And again, for those of you hopping on a little bit late, what we are covering is all of the executive orders that have been put in place by Donald Trump in the last 24 hours. His first day in office coming in high. And just a quick recap for those of you that are on a little bit later. Here's a photo of him and all those stacks on the desk right now. He also declared and he is saying, drill, baby, drill. Let's get things in order. He also pardoned about 1,500 January 6th defendants yesterday. We're hearing today they are being released or have been released, and Trump has withdrawn the U.S. from the World Health Organization. Donald Trump coming in hot. And again, if you are glad to hear it, 47s in the comments and like buttons helps out the channel spread further. I appreciate it a ton. But let's continue on because we're about halfway through. There's still some more I want to cover here for you to get you caught up. And as I'm speaking, I'm hearing that right now he is going around and he is firing people left and right that he say do not align, that were assigned by the Biden administration but don't align with his new administration's policies. We're hearing he is going through with lists and he is saying, you're fired, you're fired, you're fired, ending people that are in the government that he said it is time for you to go. You do not align with our policies, including, as I mentioned, DEI. He said he is putting an end to DEI hires as well. V, welcome to the Ram Fam. Thank you for hitting the join button. 47, much love to you all. Yes. And this is the beginning of the next 4 years with the Biden administration going, the Trump administration coming in. I see fires coming in, American flags, of 47s, Tracy Donald Trump coming in hot. Now, in addition to that, yesterday we signed an official deal to withdraw from the Paris Climate Agreement. We call this Paris Climate Agreement law. Again, the United States is becoming way more material than anything that was contract to stop in front of us. Global initiative that just simply rips off the U.S. and puts all of their things onto us. There's one that you guys go ahead and Donald Trump signed an executive order Monday yesterday directing the United States to again withdraw from the landmark Paris Climate Agreement, worldwide efforts to combat global warming, and once again distancing the United States from its closest allies. Trump's actions, hours after he was sworn in his second term, echoed his directive back in 2017 when he announced that the U.S. would abandon the Global Paris Accord. The pact is aimed at limiting long-term global warming to 2.7 degrees Fahrenheit above pre-industrial levels, or, failing that, keeping temperatures at least well below 3.6 degrees Fahrenheit or 2 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels. Now, Trump also signed a letter to the United Nations indicating his intention to withdraw from that 2015 agreement, which allows nations to provide targets to cut their own emissions of greenhouse gases from the burning of coal, oil, and natural gases. Those targets are supposed to become more stringent over time, with countries facing a February 2025 deadline for new individual plans. The outgoing Biden administration last week offered plans to cut U.S. greenhouse gas emissions by more than 60% by the year 2035. Trump's order says the Paris Accord is among international agreements that doesn't require U.S. dollars and steal American taxpayer dollars to countries that do not require ordinary financial assistance in the interests of the American people. And we heard the Congress say, America first. We say, why are taxpayer dollars being support nations across the world? We here in the United States need to help our own people put America first. And if you agree with that, again, hit that like button. Now, it says, instead of putting the gold plate, the United States' successful track record of advancing both economic and environmental objectives should be a model for other countries, Trump said. Lawrence Tubiana, CEO of the European Climate Foundation and a key architect of the Paris Accord, called the planned U.S. withdrawal unfortunate, but said action to slow climate change is stronger than any single country's politics and policies. Now, the global context for Trump's action is very different to 2017, Tubiana said Monday, adding that there is unstoppable economic momentum behind the global transition, which the U.S. has gained from and led, but now risks forfeiting. The International Energy Agency expects the global market for key clean energy technologies to triple to more than $2 trillion by the year 2035, she said. The impacts of the climate crisis are also worsening. The terrible wildfires in Los Angeles are the latest reminder that Americans, like everyone else, are affected by those climate change, she said. So, there you have it, guys. Trump is saying that we are out of that. We are out of the Paris Climate Accord. We are out of the World Health Organization. He is saying we are out of that. These international agreements that we have bought from the United States. We really need the ability to find out to help the world. And he said, why should we do that here? Stop sending our taxpayer dollars out of overseas. We realize this law that have pushing back today and says, Steve, you do an amazing job bringing us the news. I really appreciate all that you do for us. You are very welcome. Thank you for your kind words. I will continue to do my best to keep you up to date. There has been a lot unfolding. Again, this is over 24 hours. I'm going to do my best to keep up to speed with him. Everything going on, and like I said, after I get off this live stream, I'm going to see what's going on while I'm sleeping, because I'm hearing now firing is taking place left and right, and there's lots more here. This is the first 24 hours. Some of the most notable ones that are happening right now. Now, this happens in the OECD global tax deal has been closed in the U.S., but is now undergoing the global tax deal has been closed or affecting the U.S. in the memorandum of the Treasury Secretary on Monday. Secretary and a permanent representative of the U.S. told the OECD to notify the administration that any agreement made by the Biden administration on the global tax deal will have no force or effect in the United States, absence of any act of Congress adopting a relevant provision for this deal. So Trump is off the course for any of these international saying he is done with it. Now, speaking of international, taking a look at Trump lifts the U.S. sanctions on Israeli settlers in the occupied West Bank. It's official. Imposed by the Biden administration. Biden was imposing these sanctions on Israel, and we're hearing that Trump is coming in and saying, no, the United States is allies with Israel. We support Israel. We've got your back, and we had actually heard him let them know, hey, if there is not an agreement reached by the time that I'm in office, there will be all hell to pay. It is not going to be good. They don't want to find out what that is, and we're hearing that the Trump effect took place. That was the Middle East did not want to see what that meant. And right away, we saw them reach an agreement. Now, we had heard the Biden administration, I shared with you, as soon as it had come out, Biden came out and said that he had been working on that deal since May and that he should get the credit for it, not Trump. And when Biden was asked by reporters, should Donald Trump get some of the credit, because it was literally within like a week or two of him saying that all hell is going to break out if they don't have an agreement done before he's in office, it got done. Biden laughed and said, is that a joke? But a lot of people saying it was Donald Trump. Donald Trump is the one that struck fear into the hearts of Iran and the proxy groups. And they realized that got it done. Let me know your thoughts. Do you agree? Or is it Donald Trump? Brett Phillips did so for the 47. They know it's going to Joe Biden. He's sick of your thoughts. We're hearing that the deal has been reached and Trump is coming very pro-Israel. This is the United States government. Controversial moves as he returned to the White House on Monday. The sanctions were imposed by his predecessor, former President Joe Biden, via an executive order back in February. Biden's actions paved the way for the U.S. Department of State and Treasury to sanction several far-right individuals perpetrating violence against Palestinians in the West Bank, which Israel has occupied since 1967, despite international law freezing their U.S. assets and barring the bodies of individuals. As much of the world's attention has focused on the war in Gaza, growing violence by Israeli settlers against Palestinians and land grabs in occupied territories have raised concerns among some of Israel's Western allies. On Monday and Tuesday, settlers set vehicles and properties on fire under protection of the Israeli soldiers. Only 21 Palestinians have been injured, according to Al Jazeera. Now again, like I said, this is a slanted article that's moving towards Palestinians, but this is reporting to you the executive orders that were taking place. Spit up the meat, spit out the bones, realize when articles are slanted one way or the other, but the main thing I wanted to share with you is that Trump has lifted sanctions. He's saying we are coming in pro-Israel. And so again, if you think that this is good, glad to hear a drop of 47 in the comments. Trump solidifying that unity with Benjamin Netanyahu and as we're hearing that there was a lot of restrictions and a lot of warnings coming out from the Biden administration when they were in charge of the U.S. to Israel. Now we're hearing the U.S. and Israel, they are becoming one again in support. Now, in addition to that, we also saw that Trump has signed the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, and we already have seen the first lawsuit against the Trump administration targeted at the DOGE. Within minutes of Trump taking the oath of office, at least 3 lawsuits were filed in federal court in Washington, seeking to shut down Elon Musk's department. Take a look at this. The legal resistance to President Donald Trump has already begun. Within minutes of Trump taking the oath of office, at least 3 lawsuits were filed in federal court in Washington, seeking to shut down Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency until it complies with transparency rules related to the governmental advisory entities. The lawsuits allege that the project Trump announced to target government waste violates the Federal Advisory Committee Act by giving private individuals roles in the government decision-making process without the public access that law requires. Days after his election in November, Trump pledged to set up DOGE, headed by Musk and entrepreneur Vivek Ramaswamy. Trump mentioned the so-called department during his inaugural address, and aides said that he plans to issue an executive order later Monday formalizing the efficiency-seeking enterprise. Ramaswamy recently stepped back from the project to run for governor in Ohio, but he and have the authority to create official government departments without Congress passing a law to do so, but Trump seems intent on calling the anti-bureaucracy project a department regardless. Now, the first of the filed lawsuits lodged by public citizens and the State Democracy Defenders Fund and the American Federation of Government Employees contends that DOJ has breached FACA, which the lawsuit says is intended to prevent such efforts from turning into vehicles of advancing private interests in the federal decision-making process. Now, the battle to defend democracy will be not only fought in the court of law, but also in the court of public opinion, said Norm Eisen, a co-founder of the State Democracy Defenders Action. We and our colleagues at Public Citizen and AFGE wanted to make the point that not only do we have a powerful lawsuit based on their partisan exclusion of members, but also that we were unafraid to take action against the autocratic moves of the incoming president. The other cases were brought by national security counselors and Democracy Forward and Citizens for Responsibility and Ethics in Washington. A fourth lawsuit filed Monday by the Center for Biological Diversity seeks all records from the Office of Management and Budget relating to DOJ. There are signs that the Trump administration was expecting legal challenges to the money-saving effort. In December, Trump announced that the Washington election lawyer William McGinley would serve as general counsel for the project. Trump had previously tapped McGinley to serve as White House counsel, but later decided to hand the position to David Warrington, a lawyer who has represented him in civil suits stemming from the violence at the Capitol on January 6th. So man, already these are going to back. Trump is going to get caught with lots of executive orders working in Ohio, shaking things up. Like I said, is there anybody that is watching right now who is from Ohio? If you are from Ohio, I want you to drop a yes or a no if you would like to see Vivek Ramaswamy as your next governor. Vivek is stepping officially to DOJ. He's going to let Elon Musk have at it, and he is going to be running for governor of Ohio. If you're in Ohio and you'd like to see Vivek as your governor, vote yes. If you're in Ohio and you'd like to not see the governor, vote no. Let me know your thoughts over here. If you're in Ohio and you'd like to see Vivek as your governor, put yes. Or if you're in Ohio and you'd like to not see him as the governor, put no. Let me know your thoughts as we're hearing that. He is governor as well. Vivek Ramaswamy, governor of Ohio, earlier next week, and is parting ways with President Donald Trump's incoming Department of Government and sources familiar with his plan and NBC News. Ramaswamy's interest in seeking office in his home state is not a surprise, we are hearing. But his decision to leave DOJ now removes him from the high command of the federal spending watchdog group that he was supposed to run with Elon Musk, billionaire Tesla CEO, owner of X. And so there you have it, you guys. A lot unfolding. And also, lastly, now just to clarify, this is not amongst all of the executive orders that I've been reporting on. But we are hearing there is an update on the New Jersey drone mystery as well yesterday during the signings. New Jersey drone mystery to be uncovered. Donald Trump has Susie looking into it. So again, just to clarify, you guys update Trump's 24 hours so one more time, very quickly, talk to you about the drones, which we're hearing could be coming out here today or very soon. Now, as I mentioned, here is a picture of Donald Trump. This was video coverage of him signing executive legal challenges. The birthright issue as well, we're hearing, might require congressional intervening, as they're saying he can't do this through executive order. Jesus is my rock. Thank you for the $5 super chat. I appreciate that support a ton. She says yes. From Ohio. Awesome. So we got a lot of people on the channel from Ohio saying yes, they like to see Vivek in there. Also, President Trump pledges to expand the border wall. Praises Texas Governor Greg Abbott. We also heard him say that the United States needs an Iron Dome. Do you agree with that as well? He also vowed to reinstate unvaccinated military. With them back retroactively for those that lost their jobs in the military because they refused to be vaccinated as mandated. So he's saying he will get back pay and he will write the law of the Biden administration. Also, he has been claiming that there are only two biological sexes, male and female. He also is halting diversity programs, putting in DEI. Also, we're hearing that there are tariff threats left and right. He is letting China know, Mexico know, Canada know, and he is signing a flurry of executive orders. Trump has also declared a national energy emergency, and he is saying, drill, baby, drill. It is time for us to extract our own resources and allow drilling in Alaska and off of the East Coasts. Trump also pardoned about 1,500 January 6th defendants, saying that they are free to go, righting the wrongs, he said, that were done by the previous administration, saying that these people should not be in prison. Trump also withdrew the U.S. from the World Health Organization. We are no longer a part of the WHO. In addition to that, he signed an executive order directing the U.S. to develop a Paris climate agreement, saying that this was a general rip-off, and that we were he said that we were supporting the majority of the funds that go in. Why are we sending our own taxpayer dollars that our people are putting in and sending it overseas when we should be paying for America first and using our tax dollars to help our own citizens? He also, the OECD global tax deal has no force in the U.S. now. He says also he is solidified our alliance with Italy to lift the U.S. sanctions on executive optimized U.S. banks. First lawsuit is now taking place as well as he's saying it's going to be the Department of Next Agency for Revolution, which will be run by Elon Musk, not by the fake Thomas Farmer, who is now taking money from the governor of Ohio. And also, lastly, we're coming up behind on the New Jersey road. Has said that Susie is looking into it, and we have heard that he's going to let all of us know the details of the drone. And we know as soon as this comes out, I'm going to hop on the channel here and we're going to do it. I do appreciate that. And I want to say you haven't done so yet, give me a second. Like button, spread this out for some more people to get the latest updates, and subscribe to stay up to date here on the channel. I'll keep you up to speed on all of this. Make sure you're subscribed. All of these articles, if you want to read any of them in more detail, are going to be linked in the description below. And also, thank you for those of you that have become members. Also, additional resources linked down in the description below as well if you want to stock up on various items. But let's go ahead and take a look at this article and see what Donald Trump had to say about the drones. It says, on one day in office, President Donald Trump said that he is looking into the drone mystery that has been plaguing New Jersey since November and prompted temporary flight restrictions over 57 of its municipalities. While signing executive orders at the White House on Monday, Trump was asked by a reporter, "Is there anything that we should be worried about with the New Jersey drones?" He responded with a punt to his chief of staff, Susie Wiles. Now, I would like to find out what it is and tell the people. In fact, I'd like to do that, said Trump. He then directed to Wiles. Could we find out what that was, Susie? Why don't we find out immediately, he said. Now, here's an ex-post from Colin Rugg. It says, reporter, is there anything that we should be worried about with the New Jersey drones? I would like to find out what it is and tell the people. In fact, I'd like to do that. Could we find out what that is, Susie? Why don't we find out immediately? So we are hearing that Donald Trump is saying it's time to tell the people what the drones are about. So that's going to be coming out here very soon. Trump went on to speculate to reporters, I can't imagine it's an enemy, or there would have been, people would have gotten blown up already. Maybe they were testing things. I don't know why they wouldn't have said what it was. A lot of them were flying over Bedminster, which was interesting, he said. Now, previously on January 9th, Trump promised to issue a report on the alleged drone activity in New Jersey shortly after day one into his presidency. In December, the FAA issued temporary flight restrictions over parts of the Garden State for special security reasons after viral reports of unexplained UFO sightings starting to among fire. Thousands of unexplained sightings were reported as videos and pictures flooded social media and its community forums. These FAA restrictions are simply higher than us that are standing. They restrict any unmanned aircraft from operating below 400 feet within a nautical mile of the airspace or specified path, including that restrict the functions of home and welfare. Using social media to social harassment, Trump called for immediate transparency. He wrote, "Let the public know and now, otherwise shoot down." Now, the government may also contemplate potential plans to visit Uganda's property in December 20 for their security concerns. So there you have it, guys. We also were hearing that very soon we're going to be finding out what the source of the drones are, where they're coming from, and what is going on with that. But you can see the first 24 hours of President Donald Trump in office, there has been a lot going on. It has been wild. Now, like I said, while we're live, I am also hearing that there are firings that are taking place. There are more executive orders coming out, and we're hearing that Trump is keeping busy. And you heard him also yesterday say, and I shared this with you guys on my Instagram. If you're not following me on Instagram, do so at Stu3. I shared a clip. It's got hundreds of thousands of views. During his speech, he said, "I now believe that this assassin tried to take me out. God saved my life." And he said, "I believe that God saved me to make America great again." Those were the words from Donald Trump. He said that God saved him to make America great again. And do you agree that God saved Donald Trump from being assassinated? We're hearing that there's several assassination attempts. Do you agree with Robert 47 in the comments with Donald Trump? It sounds like he is trying to make good on what he believes in doing. He believes that God spared his life to make America great again, and it looks like he is not holding back. He is getting busy to right the wrongs in the Biden administration, to set in place things that he said will put America first, to deliver us. He said things that are unfair, that are rip-offs against the American people. He's trying to push America first now to office. And also, he said he had to bring back these things that he said are just common sense, getting us away from nuclear killers. He said destroying the insanity agenda, getting rid of FBI. He is aggressively moving forward on these policies. So, like I said, a lot now, you guys. I will continue to keep you guys up to speed on all this, let you know everything unfolding. Like I said, if you haven't done so yet, don't forget to click and hit that like button, subscribe to stay up to date. I'm following you guys a lot more content out here. I'm doing my best. You guys also say a prayer for me and well, some of us were able to see it on YouTube, some of us were not. However, during that speech, he made a lot of comments, and I already see in the comments people saying that he shook a lot of people up with some of the things that he had to say. Let me know if you saw it in the comments down below. One of the things that we actually saw him address was, take a look at this. He said that God saved me from assassination to make America great. Now, if you that statement, you believe that God saved Donald Trump in that assassination attempt, go ahead and drop a 47 in the comments for me and hit that like button. Now, in addition to that, as I mentioned, he also was going to be issuing out several executive orders. And take a look at this. He also said that the U.S. policy will now recognize only two genders. There will only be male and female, he said. This coming out during his speech. So he really shook a lot of things up, had a lot of things that people were either excited about in a good way or a bad way. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. But I'm going to be sharing for you what's going to be happening immediately right now, as he is now officially the President of the United States, and we are hearing that he is wasting no time. It is day one, and he is going to be signing some executive orders immediately. And the first ones are going to be on immigration. Now, also, we had heard that he's going to be releasing some information regarding the drones. We had heard him talk about a lot of the policies and changes that are going to be coming. He essentially called the previous administration some of the things they did just not for the American people. He said he's going to be reversing all of this and getting things back on track to make America first. And he said that God saved him to make America great again. So right now, we're hearing that this is underway as we speak. Now, before I dive in, do me a favor. If you appreciate the updates, keeping you up to speed on all of this, don't forget to take a quick second, hit that like button for me. Helps spread this out further so more people can get the latest updated information. And also don't forget to stay up to date. It's totally free. Why not go ahead and hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell, and let's go ahead and dive right in and get you caught up as to what is going on with new executive orders that are going to be issued out right now, immediately, day one, by Donald Trump. Now, this article says that President Donald Trump plans to issue 10 executive orders related to immigration on his first day in office, including declaring a national emergency at the border, an incoming White House official said Monday morning. Now, the executive orders will follow Trump's promises on the campaign trail to issue mass deportations immediately after taking office. So he is saying we're going to be taking care of the issues with the border, as we have seen over the last several years now, people just pouring in. We're hearing this is the concern for sleeper cells, for suitcase nukes, for radioactive materials that could be entering into the United States, with potential attacks on U.S. soil in various cities. He's saying we're going to be addressing the border immediately. Now, Trump said during his inaugural address that he would declare a national emergency at the southern border. Illegal entry will immediately be halted, and we will begin the process of returning millions and millions of criminal aliens back to the places from which they came, he said. The state of emergency would allow the Defense Department to deploy the military and the National Guard to the border. Officials declined to elaborate on how many troops would be sent or parameters of their actions, saying that it would be up to the Defense Department to make those determinations. The Trump administration also said that it would end birthright citizenship, the right for children to be born in the United States to claim citizenship regardless of their parents' immigration status. Birthright citizenship has been understood to be required under the 14th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution, which states all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States. Now, to change the Constitution would require approval from 2/3 of Congress and ratification by 3/4 of the states, an extremely high bar. Democrats and some legal groups have vowed to challenge in court any Trump attempt to do away with birthright citizenship. Now, ending birthright citizenship is anti-American and unconstitutional, said Ruben Gallego of Arizona as he wrote on X, vowing to fight this un-American executive order. The official said Trump intends to end the practice referred to as catch and release. Trump vowed in his first term to end the practice, but migrants were still released after crossing the border because of limits in U.S. Immigration and Custom Enforcement detention space. Now, the Trump administration also plans to reinstate the Remain in Mexico policy, which allows Trump in his first term to keep migrants of all nationalities from crossing into the United States from Mexico until they had an appointment for asylum. The devastating crime to U.S. soil, including our cities and inner cities, Trump said. So we are hearing this is going to be the first executive order that should be taking place here today. And that is the first of many. We're hearing that there are several. I actually heard potentially hundreds that could be coming out. And Trump is getting down to business. And that is because, take a look, he actually mentioned this in his speech today. He said, God saved me from assassination to make America great again. And again, if you believe that as well, assassination attempt, because God has a plan for Trump to make America great again, go ahead and do me a favor, drop a 47 in the comments and hit that like button, because we're hearing that this came up actually in his speech. He mentioned this, saying that he is supposed to help America. New U.S. President Donald Trump says that God saved him from an assassin's bullet to make America great again. Trump said this during his inauguration as the 47th President of the United States on Monday. Now, just a few months ago, in a beautiful Pennsylvania field, an assassin's bullet ripped through my ear. But I felt then and believe even more so now that my life was spared for a reason. I was saved. Uh, I was saved by God to make America great again, he said during his inaugural address. Trump was shot on July 13th near Butler in the state of Pennsylvania. Thomas Matthew Crooks was able to climb to an elevated position with an assault rifle and fire several shots at Trump at a rally with a bullet grazing the former U.S. president's right ear. So there you have it, you guys. Donald Trump saying that God spared his life from an assassination attempt so that way he could make America great again. And I'm seeing those 47s, people saying that they agree, and that they are looking forward to what is coming here with a President Donald Trump coming into the administration, coming into office for the United States. Now, here's another one that came out also. This came out during his speech. Trump says the U.S. policy will recognize only two genders. Now, let me know, how do you feel about this one? And there was a massive amount of applause and people commenting on this as well. If you agree with this one, drop a 47 in the comments for Donald Trump and hit that like button. Now, this one says the U.S. President Donald Trump said in his inaugural speech on Monday that his government's office policy would only recognize two genders, ending the current practice of providing a third gender option in some settings. I will also end the government policy of trying to socially engineer race and gender into every aspect of public and private life. As of today, it will henceforth be official policy of the United States government that there are only two genders, male and female, he said. So, man, there you have it, you guys. So if you missed it during that speech, he really shook things up with some of these comments, and a lot of people saying they are very happy to hear this. Donald Trump is going to be getting busy right now in office, and we're hearing that hundreds of executive orders are going to be coming. We're hearing that he is going to be righting the wrongs, he said, of the previous administration, getting policies that will put America first, making America great again. So, man, let me know your thoughts in the comments. I see Illy saying that the DEI can kick rocks. Robert says, I heard it, yes. 74 Deeds says feelings are not genders. Yeah, so right now we're hearing that there is going to be a lot of changes coming to the United States. Big changes are coming as we are seeing one administration out and another administration coming in. So there's going to be a lot unfolding. I'll be sure to keep you guys up to date here on the channel. Somebody saying, what about his safety regarding the helicopter? Yes, and luckily today as well, there was a lot of major concerns about the safety of the president. Not sure if you actually saw this or not, but when he was arriving in D.C., when he left Florida and he arrived, the vehicles that were taking him, they had these giant antennas on top of them. We were hearing that those were actually ones that would have the ability to shut down signals from drones, because there was major concerns about potential drone attacks against the president. And we actually saw that they said due to weather concerns, they moved it from outside to inside, because right now there is a major freeze. I hope that everyone's staying warm, but there was also security concerns, and they had the highest level of security that we have ever seen in U.S. history for an inauguration for a president. And so right now, yeah, we're hearing that they got to make sure that they stay on top of Donald Trump right now, and he is getting to work. He said he believes God put him here to make America great again, and he wants to do that exact thing. He's not here to mess around. He's not here to go lay on the beach for 40% of his time in office. He said he is ready to get to work. So we will see. So now we're hearing that executive orders are going to be coming out day one, and as I shared with you, there's several that he's going to be doing. First is going to be directly addressing the border crisis, the issues, the safety and security of our nation. So that is the first thing at hand, and there will be many, many more to come out. And as they come out, I will let you guys know here on the channel. I will keep you up to speed on everything, so that way you know exactly what is going on. But you guys, so that is the latest. Donald Trump is now officially the president of the United States. He has been sworn in, him and J.D. Vance. He has vowed that he will do his best to help out the nation. And let me know, are you hopeful? Are you optimistic? Are you feeling good about the future? We are going to now see a Donald Trump presidency take place. 47th President of the United States. It is official. So, let's go ahead and keep you guys up to speed on everything. These articles are linked down in the description below. And hit that like button if you appreciate the updates, if you appreciate seeing Donald Trump now officially in office. And as these executive orders and legislation roll out, I'll keep you up to speed here on the channel. That is the latest, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I will catch you in the next one. Turn on those notification bells because there's going to be a lot coming out, I suspect, in the next roughly 48 hours. But that is it. Take care. God bless. Oh, yes, and say goodbye to Biden, says honor Los Angeles. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.
You must first make an appointment. Now you make the appointment on the telephone. You know who answers the phone? Nobody.
Big changes are being proposed for Social Security. I'm going to be playing for you the video footage, but if you collect SSI, SSDI, you're a retiree, or you just hate being on hold, you are going to want to see this video as we are hearing that Congressman Higgins, he is calling for big changes to Social Security in 2025. Take a look at the latest headlines with me. Higgins fights for seniors. Blast the no-show bureaucrats in Congress, talking about the hold times that are taking place. But that's not all. Take a look at this. Also, just coming out, the U.S. has recovered $31 million in Social Security payments to dead people and also Social Security benefits to change under a new bill that is currently being proposed. This is going to be impacting those on SSI or SSDI. So like I said, I'm going to dive into all the details, and also I'm going to be sharing with you one of the greatest decisions that I have made that has significantly impacted my life. But more on that later on in the video. But I'm going to get you caught up with the latest as we're entering into 2025 Social Security. It looks like it's making a comeback, and the SSA is getting called out. You're not going to want to miss the video footage. But before we dive in, do me a quick favor. If you appreciate the updates, keeping you up to speed on everything going on, take a quick second, hit that like button for me. It helps out the channel a ton. Just takes a second. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Also, to stay up to date, it's totally free. Why not go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Turn on that notification bell. I'll keep you up to speed on everything going on. And all the articles and resources, they are linked in the description below. I try to cite everything, put it on the screen, read right from it, so that way you can rest assured that it is the latest. But with that being said, let's go ahead and dive right in to get you caught up on the latest that's been unfolding in the last 24 hours with Social Security coming in 2025. You know, one of the best decisions I ever made was investing in personal coaching. And it wasn't about somebody telling me what to do. It was about working with a certified coach to help me clarify my goals, overcome obstacles, and to...
It's a number for Social Security. This is what our elders have to listen to. These are our elders, my man.
Yes, sir.
The reason they're calling, when I have a question for you, I'll ask if that's the way this works. The reason our elders call for help is because they need help. Not because they want to listen to elevator music. They want to talk to a human being. The first 5 minutes of this on hold for an hour and a half, Mr. Chairman, was instructions to get to various websites, which our elders have difficulty doing. I have difficulty doing it. Our elders frequently confused and alone, scared. They don't have like laptops and apps and things. They have a telephone. They want to talk to a human being. But wait, They have a local Social Security office they could go to, right? That's a historical model. No. I give you Exhibit B. This is from your website, or was, before you ran for DNC and retired in November after negotiating this deal that you think ties the hands of the incoming executive. We're going to defeat that in Article 3. I'll go and get into that in a minute. But from the website, listen to this, America. Pay attention to what's happening to our elders. If you need in-person help, you must first make an appointment. Now you make the appointment on the telephone. You know who answers the phone? Nobody. This is a greatly efficient Social Security Administration. All of our offices, we struggle and work so hard to care for our elders, and the number one complaint is that they can't get any answers or even anybody on the phone at Social Security. So I want you to know, Governor O'Malley, that I completely support your run for DNC chair. You have a certain air of elitist superiority that perfectly reflects your party, and I completely support your run. I hope you get it. Earlier in your testimony, you stated that the contract you signed that presumes to commit the executive branch and the federal government through 2029 to a union agreement. In fact, they hail it in CNN as Social Security Union secures telework deal. And it said the deal will secure telework for SSA employees through 2029. That's a union guy to CNN. You said it doesn't tie the hands of the incoming administration. I happen to agree with you, Governor, but that's because the founders were wise enough to divide the powers of our government. And we're going to defeat the contract you signed in Article 3. Watch us do it. But in the terms of the contract, it states in the language eligible positions and percentages of employees permitted to telework, and replaces it with the commissioner will adhere to the current number of telework days, eligible positions, and percentages of employees permitted to work telework as of the date of this agreement until October 25th, 2029. But by some measure, you say, yeah, that doesn't tie the hands of the incoming administration. That was your testimony about an hour and a half ago before I got on hold with Social Security. That never answered. So let me just say, and man to man, brother, I respect you. You know, you're standing your ground. You're here today on the fire, you know, and I appreciate that. So man to man, you and I can probably get along pretty good. But it's a mischaracterization of our position, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Ranking Member, to say that we have a problem, that Republican conservatives and fiscal hawks like me have a problem with the federal employees. We have a problem with federal employees failing to perform. And we associate the failure to perform with realities that we face. You want to talk to us in person, get an appointment. You want to get an appointment, make a phone call, we don't answer the phone. That failure to perform is the issue, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Ranking Member. That's our issue with the federal government employees. And we associate it with not showing up for work through telework. So let me say that those federal employees that do not show up for work, they're going to get fired.
Mr. Chairman, I would
How you?
So there you have it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. But also, let's take a look at some of these articles that are going to give us some updates as to some other things that are going on with Social Security. And first up, the U.S. recovers $31 million in Social Security payments to dead people. And we are hearing that hopefully there's going to be some changes to the Social Security Administration that is going to help get things on track to help out those that are depending on these benefits. Now, this article reads that the U.S. government clawed back more than $31 million in Social Security payments that improperly went to dead people, a recovery that one official said on Wednesday, yesterday, was just the tip of the iceberg. The money was reclaimed as a part of the 5-month pilot program after Congress gave the Department of Treasury temporary access to the Social Security Administration's full death master file for 3 years as a part of the Omnibus Appropriations Bill in 2021. The SSA maintains the most complete federal database of individuals who have died, and the file contains more than 142 million records, which go back to 1899, according to the Treasury. Now, the Treasury projects that it will recover more than 215 million during its 3-year access period, which runs from December 2023 through 2026. Now, these results are just the tip of the iceberg. The Treasury's Fiscal Assistant Secretary, David Lebrick, said in a news release. He urged Congress to give the Treasury full access to the master file, saying it would significantly reduce fraud, improve program integrity, and better safeguard taxpayer dollars. The effort has shown areas where the government is preventing fraud, waste, and abuse, which is also one of Donald Trump's campaign promises. The president-elect has tapped 2 business titans, Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, to lead the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, a new non-governmental task force assigned to find ways to fire federal workers, cut programs, and slash federal regulations, all part of what Trump calls his Save America agenda for his second term in the White House. A representative from the Trump transition team did not immediately respond to a request for comments on whether the incoming administration would continue the efforts to seek to make the Treasury's temporary access to the file permanent. But man, so there you have it, and there you saw them mention the DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency, which is saying they're going to be inspecting the Social Security Administration. Now, just to clarify, they are saying potential cuts to the administration, to the program, trying to make it more efficient, but no cuts to people's paychecks. In fact, a lot of people saying they need some more money coming in. Let me know if you agree in the comments. Now, speaking of more money coming in, let's take a look at a new bill that's proposed and who it's going to be impacting. This is going to be SSI, SSDI. Take a look at this coming out today as well. Social Security benefits to change under the new bill. Here's who is impacted. This article says new legislation would allow disabled Americans to marry without risking the loss of Supplemental Security Income, or SSI, payments. The bill, introduced by U.S. Senator Jerry Morgan and Chris Van Hollen, aims to remove the penalty on disability benefits for SSI recipients who choose to marry. At present, the Social Security Act counts the money and property of those marrying SSI recipients when assessing eligibility. Newsweek reached out to Senator Jerry Morgan's office for comments via email outside of business hours on Tuesday. Now, here's why it matters. Those with SSI benefits who marry have their spouse's income and resources factored into their benefits, which can reduce their payments or fully eliminate them due to ineligibility. What's more, when 2 individuals receiving SSI benefits marry with no additional income, benefits amount to 25% less than the total that they would receive if they were living together but not as husband and wife, according to the Department of Labor's Office of Disability and Income Assistance Policy. I'm working alongside Senator Moran to build support for this legislation that will help people with disabilities strengthen their financial security while supporting their freedom to marry. As a common-sense bipartisan solution, we'll be looking for opportunities to pass this bill, and I'm confident in its prospects, Senator Chris Van Hollen said to Newsweek. Now, here's what to know. Currently, if a person is disabled and relies on Social Security income, they can receive a maximum benefit of $943 per month, and their countable assets cannot exceed $2,000. Kristen Petersmark, president and founder of the New Horizon Retirement Solutions, told Newsweek. However, if the individual gets married and both spouses rely on Social Security, their combined monthly income benefits is reduced by 25%, and the maximum countable assets of both spouses cannot exceed $3,000. The legislation, known as Eliminating the Marriage Penalty in SSI Act, would rule out a spouse's income and resources when assessing SSI benefits eligibility and exclude marital status when determining SSI benefit amounts for disabled adults or those with diagnosed intellectual or developmental disabilities. I have anecdotal evidence of some couples so desperate that they have divorced so that the more needy spouse can receive low-income benefits. Mary Johnson, an independent Social Security and Medicare policy analyst, told Newsweek, if passed, disabled Americans would be free to marry without the potential of losing their SSI benefits. The legislation was first introduced on December 23 of 2024, so not too long ago, and referred to the Senate Committee on Finance on January 13th of 2025. It's endorsed by the Autism Society of America, Autism Speaks, Global Down Syndrome Foundation, Muscular Dystrophy Association, National Down Syndrome Congress, and National Down Syndrome Society. So this bill was just introduced and it's starting to get a little bit of attention and could be beneficial for those on SSI and SSDI. So here's what happens next. Peters Mark and Bean believe both parties will throw support behind this bill. I think there will be bipartisan support. The asset limits have not been changed in over 40 years, and that is not acceptable, he said. And we're seeing this. A lot of these rules and regulations that are on Social Security, they have not been updated in decades. Bean notes that similar legislation aimed at expanding the availability of Social Security benefits to certain groups has sparked bipartisan interest recently. The difficulty comes in the financial impact of expanding benefits access to more individuals and how that fits with the already strained budget of the Social Security Administration. Hopefully, there's a way to make this rule change work while navigating through the financial constraints of the program currently has, being said. So, there you have it, guys. Let me know your thoughts. Big changes proposed for 2025. They are hunkering down on the Social Security Administration, and hopefully we're going to be seeing some changes that will benefit those recipients depending on these benefits. Now, in addition to that, we've also heard that Donald Trump is bringing Social Security to the forefront, proposing the double tax elimination. Said it's not fair that you paid into Social Security your entire life through taxation, and then when you pull it and you need it to be there for you, you're also taxed on it again. And he's saying, why is that? Let's get rid of that. Now, to get updates on that and also more changes coming to Social Security in 2025 and that are being proposed, check out this video right here next as I cover it in detail for you, and I'll continue to keep you up to speed here on the channel. But that is the latest. Thank you so much for joining me. Also, thank you to today's video sponsor. Check them out, linked in the description below, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Take care. God bless. This is Steve. The release of the hostages, President Joe Biden addressing the release of the hostages, as that is unfolding all right now. There is a lot taking place this morning, January the 19th, 2025, and I'm going to get caught up on the latest. So let's go ahead and take a look at the articles, the video footage, so that way you can see it for yourself. Let's take a look at the latest headlines as to what is going on today. Now you can see here, Washington, D.C. locals fear foreboding energy as security tightens before Donald Trump's inauguration. And that is because also this right here, now I received this from tons of people, and I just wanted to make sure that I could verify information before I reported on it. Take a look. U.S. Homeland Security News update reports that the Secret Service cannot guarantee the president-elect's safety and has canceled the swearing-in ceremony at the Rotunda. Now, you'll recall that it was moved to the Rotunda to be indoors because of the weather. They're saying extreme weather temperatures. They're going to move it from outside to indoors. First time this has been done since 40 years ago with Ronald Reagan. It says they may also cancel the watching party at the Capitol One area. The post-inauguration events, they have not been canceled. These rumors are not from my contacts, but those being reported by others. So this is unconfirmed information. Same sources that first reported that the outdoor ceremony will be canceled. More information will come out soon. Now we're hearing that there are security concerns, but it says at this time the inauguration has moved indoors and will be held at the Capitol Rotunda. It has not been canceled, so we are expecting to see this unfold at the Rotunda. Now, also, in addition to that, though, take a look. There are thousands protesting right now in Washington against Trump as he prepares for his inauguration. We are hearing that there are thousands showing up to be there in support and thousands also showing up there to protest Donald Trump coming into Washington, D.C. Now, let me know your thoughts. Are you happy that Donald Trump is coming in? If so, drop a 47 in the comments. If no, put a 46 for Joe Biden, as a lot of these people we're hearing, they wanted to see the Biden administration continue on with Kamala Harris. Now, also, we are seeing, take a look at this. This is the inauguration day schedule for Donald Trump for 2025 presidential swearing in. There's going to be ceremonies and events taking place all throughout today and then going into tomorrow. And yesterday, we actually saw, I shared with you live, him boarding that plane to go from Florida to Washington, D.C. to begin the inaugurational process of him becoming the president of the United States. And wow, look at those 47s pouring in. A lot of people saying they are happy to see Donald Trump coming in as the 47th president of the United States. Don't forget, if you haven't done so yet, while you're dropping those 47s, take a second, hit that like button. It helps spread this information out further across the YouTube platform. Now, in addition to that, we're also seeing, take a look at this 3 hours ago, Trump meme coin doubles again. Stake now worth $58 billion or more. We're hearing there's a Donald Trump meme coin that has exploded, and we're hearing a lot about cryptocurrencies as well regarding what is going to be unfolding here with the Trump administration. So we're going to be covering all of the stuff, the security concerns, the schedule for the inauguration, what we're going to be seeing over the course of the next roughly 48 hours. But in addition to that, take a look at this. Now, yesterday I shared with you that there was a post that came out from Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu saying that they would not be moving forward with the ceasefire agreement if the Hamas group did not release the list of names of hostages that were going to be sent out in the various phases of their ceasefire agreement. We are hearing that that was released yesterday. And now Israel says the first 3 hostages to be freed from Gaza are with the Red Cross as the ceasefire is underway. And also, I just watched live, I'm going to play it for you, President Joe Biden addressing this. We saw several people waiting and celebrating for this to unfold as we're hearing the ceasefire is now underway. Let me know, is this the Trump effect? We had heard Donald Trump warn, I had shared this with you, that there would be all hell to pay if they did not release those hostages and have a ceasefire agreement. If this is the Trump effect, put yes. If you think no, put no. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. We're hearing that Hamas made sure to get it done, and so did Israel. And we are seeing this ceasefire come to fruition right now. So as of this morning, January the 19th, we're hearing the ceasefire. It is in effect, and it is moving forward. Now, also in effect this morning, we're going to be covering a little bit as well, is the TikTok ban. For those of you that are on TikTok, this morning, if you checked your app, you likely received a notification that said TikTok is now officially down. The U.S. Supreme Court has ruled that it needs to be shut down. It is done. TikTok ban live updates app shutdown as the U.S. ban starts. Trump posts save TikTok. So we're going to be seeing, though, if Donald Trump is going to be coming in to try to rescue TikTok, as a lot of people are speculating he might do. But right now, we are hearing, as of this morning, TikTok is officially shut down in the United States and also in Canada. And a lot of people joking, calling Canada the 51st state as the ban is supposed to take place in the United States, but it's also banned in Canada as well. So a lot of the TikTok content creators right now, very concerned, their livelihood, trying to figure out where they're going to be going from here as TikTok has been shut down. Now, again, this is because they were saying that there is Chinese propaganda, data security issues, all of these concerns. A lot of the people of TikTok we're hearing are moving over to, I think it is Redbook, if I remember correctly, or Red Note. What we're hearing is that that is actually directly controlled by the CCP. So a lot of the people from TikTok going over there saying this is a big, major, saying we don't care to the United States, going directly to China, giving them their data, their information, going directly to a Chinese-made app, which we will see what's going to be unfolding here because, as I mentioned, we're going to take a look at this article, Donald Trump coming in and saying that they're going to try to figure out some sort of way to preserve TikTok for all of the American content creators on TikTok. So a lot unfolding today. January the 19th, 2025, a lot coming out overnight. And I'm going to get you caught up on the latest as we're hearing the warnings of security concerns for the inauguration. We are hearing that right now the ceasefire agreement is in effect, and we are hearing that TikTok has been shut down. So, man, overnight, going from January 18th to the 19th, a lot unfolding. And yes, thank you for all those of you that have been sending me messages and updates asking me what is going on. I'm going to go ahead and get you guys caught up on the latest. And again, do me a favor, if you guys appreciate that, take a second, hit that like button for me. Helps spread this out further. It looks like we've got roughly 2,200 people on with me live right now. Just helps spread out the news. Also, subscribe to stay up to date. If this is your first time here, it's totally free. Why not? I'll keep you up to speed on everything. Also, make sure that you're staying subscribed to the channel. A lot of people letting me know that they've been unsubscribed from the channel, and we're not sure why. One day you're subscribed, the next day you're not, but we want to make sure that everybody is staying subscribed to the channel. So double check to make sure that you're subscribed. And also, all these articles and additional resources, they're going to be linked down in the description below, so that way you can see them for yourself. But with that being said, you guys, like I said, like button, subscribe, articles, resources linked down below. Let's take a look at this video footage so that way you can see it for yourself. And do me a favor, as soon as this plays, drop a 5x5 if you can hear it and see it okay. Just want to make sure the video is coming through clearly.
Let's go back out to Griff Jenkins ahead of Trump's victory rally in D.C. today. Hey, Griff.
Ainsley, we are still 8 hours away from this rally that will feature President-elect Trump, Vice President-elect Vance, along with Elon Musk. But look at this crowd. We're a block away from the front. You can see this crowd is thousands going for blocks up here. Let's talk to some of the people here. What's your name and where are you from?
I'm Nick from Minneapolis, and I came out here to show we need to take America back and give the government back to the people, not the bureaucrats in Washington.
And it's not that cold. It's only about 38, 39 degrees out here. Are you happy you're not freezing?
Yeah, back home I think it's like -10, so this is a heat wave for me. I'm going to go to the beach later, strip naked, and go skinny dipping.
Oh, that sounds like fun. Now, look, you got the Garbage Man t-shirt on. Did you know that the garbage truck is supposed to make an appearance here? Are you excited for that?
Absolutely, and I was telling other people when President Trump gets to planning his library, we need to have the garbage truck in there, and we need to have, like, you can make your own picture of him standing out there giving out the fries in the McDonald's window. It would be epic.
All right, and what's your name, man?
My name is Sheena,
And where are you from?
Alabama, and just moved to Charlotte and Salem area. So all over.
What do you do?
Well, my husband's a printing company, so we do a lot of work for people.
Sure do. All right, all right. Well, listen, we're going to check in with all these folks here. They are lining up, and it's not even that bad out here. It's going to be a big day. The line's getting long. Ainsley, we'll send it back to you.
There you have it, you guys. So right now they are lining up. They're getting ready. People are out there to celebrate and to see this take place here, this historic moment that is going to be unfolding with the inauguration of Donald Trump that is going to be happening here very soon. Now, also, in addition to that, we have heard that this moved indoors. Now, as I shared with you, there was a lot of security concerns. They're saying this is the highest level of security that we have seen. Now, I'm going to play for you a video footage here in just a second where they're going to be discussing it moving indoors because of the cold. But overnight, a lot of people messaging me about the security concerns, saying, Steve, what is going on? Is Trump safe? And let me know, have you been praying for Trump's safety? I know a lot of people concerned about this. If you have, drop those praying hands in the comments. But take a look at this. Washington, D.C. locals fear a foreboding energy as security tightens before Donald Trump's inauguration. This coming out 18 hours ago from Newsbreak. Security in and around Washington, D.C. has been seriously ramped up on the eve of Donald Trump's second inauguration, leaving residents and visitors feeling both concerned and slightly comforted. Although Trump announced that his inauguration was moved indoors, drastic measures are being put in place to ensure nothing goes wrong. The U.S. Secret Service is leading this national security event involving more than 25,000 responders. Trump's inauguration will get extra concrete barriers and more than 30 miles of anti-scale fencing, which is more than has been used for any national special security event in the past. Drones will also be utilized, offering a view from above, as well as police robots to check packages and places for dangerous materials. Wow, so like never before, we're hearing there's going to be drones, fencing, 25,000 national security event responders. There are going to be robots there. They're going to have every highest level of security available to protect Donald Trump. And again, I see those praying hands coming in for people that have been praying for Trump overnight as we are entering into this, and there has been a lot of concerns about the president's safety. Now, this comes as I mentioned, this started circulating around social media. I had a lot of people message me this. I actually saw it, I think, within a minute of it coming out. But I wanted to double check, because you got to double check all your sources, make sure that everything is accurate. People asking me to report on this, letting them know, hey, this is unverified information, that they're going to be moving the event yet again. But we're hearing that no, it is not being moved as of right now. The swearing-in ceremony is going to be at the Rotunda. It has not been moved due to security concerns. But a lot of people are very concerned right now about the security of Donald Trump as we approach the inauguration. And this comes also, as I mentioned, we are seeing thousands protesting in Washington right now against Donald Trump as he prepares for his inauguration. Look at the crowds of people here. Now, take a look at this. It says thousands of mostly female demonstrators took to the streets of Washington, D.C. on Saturday to rally against President-elect Donald Trump 2 days ahead of his inauguration. The People's March, previously known as the Women's March, has taken place every year since 2017. A coalition of groups organized the movement with the stand aimed at confronting Trumpism, according to its website. Smaller protests against Trump were held in New York City and on the other side of the country in Seattle as well. The rallies coincide with Trump's arrival to the nation's capital for a series of weekend events in the lead up to the swearing-in ceremony that is going to be taking place on Monday. And here you can see the crowds of people with their signs protesting. Saturday's People March in Washington, D.C. drew smaller numbers than its predecessors. Organizers had expected 50,000 people. About 5,000 turned up. Wow. So very small crowd. The protesters gathered at 3 parks before marching to Lincoln Memorial for the rally. So there you can see a lot of the people protesting against Donald Trump, against a lot of the things that he stands for. The groups behind the march are described on its website as holding intersecting identities and having varied issues-based interests with different causes such as climate change, immigration, and women's rights. Women who gathered in Washington to join the People's March told the BBC that they had a variety of motivations for being there. Wow. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I see somebody saying idiots. I see somebody else saying they are fools. Let me know your thoughts. And also, I see 47s still pouring in for support for Donald Trump. Now, in addition to that, today, as I mentioned, there's going to be this beginning of the inaugurational ceremonies that are going to proceed over the course of the next 48 hours. Now, as this is unfolding tomorrow, when the actual inauguration is going to be taking place, I believe it's going to be at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time tomorrow, I will be live streaming it here. So if you want to see it, come join me. Love to have you. We can watch it together, watch history unfold here on the channel. Now, take a look at this. See the inauguration day schedule for Trump's 2025 presidential swearing-in. Let's take a look at this so that way we can get a breakdown of what's going to be taking place here. President-elect Donald Trump will be inaugurated on Monday tomorrow, taking the oath of office to formally kick off his second term in the White House. The inauguration marks the official transfer of the presidential power, with the executive branch changing hands from the Biden administration to the Trump administration. And if you like the sound of that, drop a like for this video. The 20th Amendment states that the president's 4-year term ends at noon on January 20th, and the president-elect is sworn in shortly after. The inaugural ceremonies of the president-elect and vice president-elect are planned by the Joint Congressional Committee on Inaugural Ceremonies. Led this year by Senator Amy Klobuchar, a Democrat from Minnesota, the committee oversees 8 events on Inauguration Day. First, the procession to the Capitol, then the Vice President's swearing-in ceremony, the President's swearing-in ceremony, the inaugural address, the honorary departure of the outgoing President and Vice President, the signing ceremony, during which the new President signs nominations, memorandums, proclamations, or executive orders, and we have heard there are going to be a slew of executive orders coming from Donald Trump as he enters into office. The inaugural luncheon, and the pass in review, during which the president and vice president review military troops before leading the parade down Pennsylvania Avenue to the White House. The theme of this year's ceremony is Our Enduring Democracy, a Constitutional Promise. Now, what time does Trump's inauguration start? It says the inauguration ceremony should begin around 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, teeing up Trump's swearing in at roughly noon when he becomes president. Now, the proceedings were initially going to take place at the west front of the U.S. Capitol, but the president-elect decided to move the ceremony indoors to the Capitol Rotunda because of the cold temperatures expected in Washington, D.C. on Monday. Now, how long will this inauguration ceremony last? Now, while there is no set time for how long the inauguration ceremony will run, the proceedings last roughly about an hour when Trump took the oath of office back in 2017, and Mr. Biden's was inaugurated in 2021. Now, what is the schedule for the inauguration ceremony? Well, according to the Trump-Vance Inaugural Committee, the inaugural ceremonies will begin with a musical prelude performed by the University of Nebraska-Lincoln Combined Choirs and the president's own U.S. Marine Band. Klobuchar will issue a call to order, and Timothy Cardinal Dolan, the Archbishop of New York, and the Reverend Franklin Grant will deliver an invocation. Christopher Machio, an opera singer dubbed Emeritus Tenor, will sing "O America." Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh will then administer the vice presidential oath of office to J.D. Vance. Trump nominated Kavanaugh to the High Court in 2018 following the retirement of Justice Anthony Kennedy. Now, country singer Carrie Underwood, joined by the Armed Forces Chorus and the U.S. Naval Academy Glee Club, will perform America the Beautiful. Following the performance now, Chief Justice John Roberts will administer the presidential oath to Trump. The Naval Academy Glee Club will return to sing the battle hymn of the Republic, and then Trump will deliver his inaugurational address. The ceremony will conclude with a benediction from Rabbi Dr. Ari Berman, president of the Yeshiva University, Imam Hasham al-Hassani of the Karbal Islamic Education Center, Pastor Lorenzo Sewell of the 180 Church of Detroit, and the Reverend Father Frank Mann of the Roman Catholic Diocese of Brooklyn, and the national anthem performed by Machio. So that is the schedule of events that we can expect to see unfold. There is going to be a lot taking place over the course of the next 48 hours, and like I said, I'll be sure to keep you guys up to speed on this every step of the way. I'm going to be watching it live with you guys starting tomorrow when it begins, so that way we can watch a U.S. AI that's going to be coming out, and their scenes of the future, and what they've shared with us is incredible. Take a look at this. They're saying they're going to be able to cure cancer, identify cancer, do all sorts of things. They're saying this is going to change the world of what they're about to unveil. Now it says, I just Googled this very quickly, artificial intelligence technology. They're saying it can identify people more likely to have lung cancer based on DNA fragment patterns in their blood. And what we're hearing from this announcement they came out, they're saying, yes, we're going to be using AI to determine various things that are in your blood and body, all sorts of technologies. They're going to be able to cure cancer. And they said your specific cancer, we're going to be able to have you a vaccine or a remedy within 48 hours. So a lot of the stuff that they're saying they're going to be able to do, that they're proposing with this, they're saying it is going to shake up the world. Now, in addition to that, take a look at this. Donald Trump, in his announcement of the $500 billion Stargate AI project, he also had Sam Altman, Larry Ellison, and he also had Mr. Sun here, who is going to be investing $500 billion. The initial investment was going to be $100 billion for an advancement data center. It is set to climb as the world's biggest tech investor, including Sam Altman, Larry Ellison. They get involved. I'm not sure if we can work on this, but they're saying this is about to change everything in the world. They're about to usher in AI in a way that we have never seen before. They're saying it is going to be huge. And take a look, ChatGPT maker, OpenAI CEO Sam Altman, he said that my kid is never going to grow up being smarter than AI. He is saying that what they are about to do with it is going to change everything. The world as we know it is about to be altered with AI and with what they are about to do with Stargate. So they said that they're going to be doing some incredible things as they harness the technology of the world, usher this in to have one of the most impactful, powerful AIs of all time. So they're saying this is going to be huge. Now, in addition to that, let me go ahead and share with you guys all the stuff that's going on. So also, Trump announces Stargate, Texas-based investment combined with AI heavyweights. I'm going to be sharing that with you. Also, take a look at this. Donald Trump says that he is going to be purging over 1,000 Biden administration officials. This coming out today, as I shared with you on the last live stream. He is saying you are fired to over 1,000 Biden officials. He is telling them it's time to pack your bags and get out. In addition to that, also, we discussed this a little bit. Trump says ICE, they can arrest people at churches, at schools, directs the agencies to use common sense, but he says it's time for those that have entered in here illegally, that don't belong here, that have been committing crimes, get them out. He is saying get them out now. So a lot going on today, the second day of the Trump administration, January the 21st, 2025. And this is a huge announcement coming out as they're saying that the world is about to change with a US-based AI called Stargate that has just been announced. So big, huge news. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Now I see Michael Gale mentioning that the hostages are now being released. Let me know what you're talking about. Which hostages are you referring to? I'll go ahead and take a look because I know that there is a lot going on right now. Are you talking about in the Middle East, or are you talking about from January 6th? I'm assuming those are the ones that you're talking about. Let me know in the comments. But while we're looking into that, because I know there's a lot going on, I'm going to get you caught up on the Stargate AI that they're saying is going to be changing the world as we know it, and they're pouring in hundreds of billions of dollars, 500 billion, $500 billion to be exact, with what is going to be coming here. Now, if you appreciate the updates, like I said, this is breaking news coming out just in the past moments. In fact, I think the interview still might be going on at the announcement at this moment. They're taking questions, but I'm going to share with you a clip that just came out on this. They're announcing Stargate, Sam Altman, all these individuals that are going to be involved, and they're saying there's going to be a lot of changes to humanity. They're saying this is huge that are about to unfold, that we are about to see start taking place here with the use of AI. So this coming out today, January 21st, 2025. Now, if you appreciate the breaking news updates, keeping you up to speed on everything, do me a favor, take a quick second, hit that like button for me, help spread this out further so more people can get the latest updates. Also subscribe to stay up to date, it's totally free. Why not? And also, thank you for the Super Chat, RPM Live Agency for the $5 Super Chat. Those Super Chats really do help spread this out across the platform as well. Thank you so much for that. And in addition to that, if you'd like to read more of these articles, they're going to be linked down in the description below. I cite all the sources, put it on the screen, read right from it so that way you can see it for yourself and you can know that this is the latest information. So let me go ahead and get you caught up. I see people saying it's the J6ers in DC. They are not being released. So thank you for letting me know that. I will go ahead and take a look at that, see if I can get some more information as to what is going on and let you guys know what is taking place. But last I heard yesterday, he signed an executive order announcing that there was going to be 1,500 people that were released out of, I think, roughly the 1,600. So we will see. I will keep you up to date. I'll take a look in that. Thank you for letting me know. I appreciate it. Also, if you have information and you want to get a hold of me and give me updates as to what's going on, there's a lot of people that are letting me know what's taking place all the time. I appreciate that a ton. Sometimes I find out and I'm able to report on stuff before the mainstream news media outlets, and a lot of it is because of social media. And the best way to reach me, the only way I tell people to reach me, because there's a lot of imposters out there trying to pretend to be me, trying to trick people, is Instagram at SteveRam3. Join me on Instagram at SteveRam3. That is the best way to get a hold of me personally. I also share some, little family things, whatever. Today, we got hit with the Arctic blast, the polar vortex today in Houston. Me and the family this morning were out there having fun. You can see videos like that and stuff there as well. But I appreciate that. Let me go ahead, though, and get you caught up on what is going on here with this announcement of the Stargate AI infrastructure with colossal data centers that are going to be based in Texas in the United States. We're hearing this is going to be changing the world. This just announced a little while ago. Let's go ahead and take a look at this video footage so you can see it for yourself.
So my first day back from having a nice life, it's my honor to welcome three of the world's leading technology CEOs. And in the case of Larry Ellison, it's well beyond technology, is sort of CEO of everything. He's an amazing man, an amazing business person. But to announce the largest AI infrastructure project by far in history, and it's all taking place right here in America. As you know, there's great competition for AI and other things, and they're coming in at the highest level. We're joined by Oracle Executive Chairman Larry Ellison, SoftBank CEO, my friend Masa Yoshi-san, and CEO of OpenAI, and I would say the by far the leading expert based on everything I read, Sam Altman. So that's great that you're coming in together. That's a massive group of talent and money. Together, these world-leading technology giants are announcing the formation of Stargate. So put that name down in your books, because I think you're going to hear a lot about it in the future. A new American company that will invest $500 billion at least in AI infrastructure in the United States, and very quickly, moving very rapidly, creating over 100,000 American jobs almost immediately. This monumental undertaking is a resounding declaration of confidence in America's potential under a new president. Let me be a new president. I didn't say it, they did. So I appreciate that, fellas. But it'll ensure the future of technology. What we want to do is we want to keep it in this country. China is a competitor and others are competitors. We want it to be in this country, and we're making it available. I'm going to help a lot through emergency declarations, because we have an emergency. We have to get this stuff built. So they have to produce a lot of electricity, and we'll make it possible for them to get that production done very easily at their own plants if they want, where they'll build at the plant, the AI plant, they'll build energy generation, and that will be incredible. But it's technology and artificial intelligence, all made in the USA. Beginning immediately, Stargate will be building the physical and virtual infrastructure to power the next generation of advancements in AI, and this will include the construction of colossal data centers, very, very massive structures. I was in the real estate business. These buildings, these are big, beautiful buildings. Are going to employ a lot of people, and physical campuses and locations currently being scouted nationwide. They're making their choices of locations. I think they have their choice.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the end.
There you have it, you guys. So that coming out from